This is Beyond the Bell Tower, where an elite group of North Carolina State University students give us a behind-the-scenes look at their steps to success and show us how they attain even their lofty goals. These students, who are in the top 10% of the country, are active in student support services at NC State, a nationally recognized program designed to provide support for low-income, first-generation college students. Nationally, this population has an 11% graduation rate within 6 years. The Student Support Services students surpass that rate each year and go on to become doctors, dentists, accountants, and engineers. They work at Google, Apple, and the NCAA. They have earned PhDs at Ivy League colleges. These students go well beyond the bell tower to reach this level of success.
Welcome to Beyond the Bell Tower, the podcast for trio students by trio students. So for today, you have a couple of different unique stories, and one has gotten you national attention.
Really?
Yes. We talked a little bit about national attention, and that was after Hurricane
Florence 2 years ago?
Yeah, Florence. So then you were selected to be interviewed by a couple of different national news outlets.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, to speak about your experiences with homelessness due to Hurricane Florence.
Right.
The factors that impacted that. So, of the one article that was first in Next City, which is an online.
Yeah. I remember her.
So that article has been published on the Lumina Foundation website, which
Really?
they're huge giants. Like
Yikes.
millions and millions of dollars they donate. So that's a big deal to be on the Lumina Foundation. Then you were on the website of Safe and Supportive Learning Environments, which was a national thing. Boston University blog republished it.
Really?
Like business school, yeah. And then there's two other people who use your stuff. So literally on this woman's blog, the first line is Miguel Ortiz-Cruz, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Dang.
So if you Google your name, it'll come up all of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and if you do, and then you were in State of Things, which is NPR. So if you Google State of Things Miguel Ortiz-Cruz, it comes up with this big, your name, the photo, and what you were.
Yeah. I was just sharing my story.
So, yeah, do you want to share the story here?
Yeah.
What happened?
2 years ago, Hurricane Florence passed through North Carolina. It passed through where I live, and here's the kicker: the roof had a couple shingles lifted,
of your family home.
Yeah, of my family home, and water got into the insulation of the ceiling, and then that insulation broke through the ceiling. So we're thinking, okay, let's just vacuum all this stuff up, clean whatever needs to be cleaned, and so then the city inspector, or some type of inspector, came and said, hey, the stud walls of your house are molding. This is you're gonna die eventually.
Right.
So you got to rebuild it. And so we're in the 2 years later, we're in the finishing stages of building our house. We don't have a big house.
Right.
It's really as big as this actually this media space, not this recording booth, but this digital media lab. Is roughly the size of my house.
Right.
But the kicker
which is
was,
like a two-bedroom, smaller four-room house, or
one kitchen, a living room. We managed to squeeze in 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
But we're tiny people, so
right.
I mean, we're not big people. I'm
Mayan descent.
If you were to look at me, I'm 5'4". My frame is kind of petite-ish, and I'm the biggest one of my family. So go from there.
Okay.
We're not big people.
Right.
Except for my brother, he's huge. He's as big as me. And he's only 13.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. But the thing that caused a hiccup is FEMA couldn't help us. But that was due to some type of policy, the wording of their policy. We couldn't get help because we were homeowners. We paid that thing off
right.
The year before Hurricane Florence came through. We paid it off, so it was our house.
Right.
And
the bank didn't own it. You didn't have a mortgage on it.
Nah, we own it. It's our house, and now it's our house again. And
well, and the issue too, I remember, is that the road to get to your house was blocked off, so you couldn't even start repairing it.
Oh yeah, no,
Right?
like we had so. It wasn't just the house. We had like 2 trees in our front yard, and these aren't just like, oh look,
And
it's
you're
like
in Pender County, just
Pender
so people,
County.
yeah.
Yeah. We had 2 trees. They were pine trees, like the tall ones. They fell like barely grazing our house, and when they fell down, they hit the electrical line, so we couldn't because there was live electricity going there. So
Right.
we had to wait for like the county to say, okay, we'll send firefighters out. To first cut off the electricity and then cut the entire tree so we can get into the house. And yeah, it was something. We
Go ahead. Because I was going to say then because your family was staying, did they open up school gyms or because
Yeah.
there was tons of
Oh yeah, for
it was just
shelter.
bad where it hit, and so there's a lot of people in
Like just gyms and shelters.
the different hurricane shelters for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
So we went to the high school gym that was like just down the road. We stayed there for a Christmas and a New Year's, and then we went to a different shelter down the road and like in town, like near the Piggly Wiggly. Is that a thing? So, tangent. Is Piggly Wiggly a thing? Like, do you know what that is?
Just out of jokes.
Jokes? Okay.
Yeah,
so-
like Piggly Wiggly, like in kind of like a reference to living in the South.
Yeah.
Because I think like Piggly Wigglies are only in the South.
Really?
Yeah, so I think it's like one of those markers, like they say that, so you know they're in the South.
Okay. But so anyways, if you know what a Piggly Wiggly is, we were right next to one, which used to be a Western Union cash check
Oh, okay.
thing. And we were there for a little bit. And then we went to a motel, and that was another New Year's and Christmas and a birthday. 2 birthdays. 3 birthdays. Yeah.
So over a year, you
Over a
were
year,
yeah.
yeah.
Homeless,
And then
like not even having your own space.
oh yeah, no.
I guess till the hotel.
Yeah,
but
no
even
kitchen,
that with
nothing.
yeah.
And so this is 2020. April of 2019 is when a mom's friend had a really rundown trailer in a trailer park, and so that's where we're staying now.
Mhm.
It was bad. Like according to my mom and according to my parents, they said it was like roach infested, and it was it was just not taken care of.
Right.
So we put our money in to fix up a trailer that wasn't ours.
Right.
So, on top of fixing the house, because
Yeah.
we couldn't it was out of pocket.
Yeah.
All I can say that I contributed
Because insurance doesn't cover water damage or whatever. I think it's
it doesn't, because we're in a low risk flood zone, and it just happened that the roof lifted a little bit to cause the insulation to come in, to cause the stud walls to show that hey, they're moldy. So it was just really
random.
Yeah. Unfortunate. It was just
Yeah.
Because
what is it like to stay in a shelter, like for lengths
you
of
have
time?
no privacy. You have no sense you kind of go mad, because I was there for spring. I think it was spring break, or when I was there for the breaks. I know that much. And you kind of it's like if you don't know what it's like, I can say that it was you have no privacy, you have no walls, you just have no you're just out in the open. I don't know how else to help the listeners understand that. It's just you just feel. You just don't feel good because
Right.
you don't have your space
Right.
to be a family and be you, if
Right.
you would.
Right. Like you
Kinda
can't do the
suffocating.
customs. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have your possessions.
No, it's all not all of it's gone. It's just water
But-
damage, but
Yeah.
mold.
But you don't
and-
have a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we ain't got nothing. We didn't have anything.
Because it's like that strain that it can put on a family. So even being your family being in public shelters like that for so long.
Here's a thought. It's okay, you're in this shelter with no privacy. Your bed is what are those cots?
Cots, yeah.
And a American Red Cross blanket or 2 if you're extra chilly. You go to work, because both my parents worked. You go to work, do your 8, 9, 10 hours of manual labor. You don't even gotta go. You can't put your feet up. You can't unwind. You can't have that peace of mind.
Right.
And it's just it was.
Because you can't have intimate conversations.
Nothing.
Or
I mean, you can, but it'll be outside of the main gym on the stairs.
Right.
But then there's no safety that somebody's gonna be walking up to you and you just say something.
Yeah.
That's really not intimate, but just like,
Yeah, because you don't have your own space. You don't have
Yeah.
a door,
yeah.
even.
I mean, we had like one of them like cloth dividers
Mhm.
that they use in hospitals, but
Mm-hmm.
what's that gonna do?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because sense of safety. Is there a sense of safety issues?
Yes. So here's like another thing. When the hurricane came in, it was like that was junior year of college. It was kind of so I don't know if I showed it, but there was always this like resentment / guilt, like how dare I live in this, like
Mm-hmm.
have my own room, or how dare I
Mhm.
have my own privacy
Mm-hmm.
when I know that like my parents and my sister and my brother, he's like 13. You don't know who's in that shelter.
Right.
You don't know. And
Right.
I'm not saying that, Pender County is full of like shady people, but you just don't know.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are.
You just don't know who's there
Yeah.
or what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
or who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was there, I personally didn't feel any of it, but like I can understand that for my sister and so my grandpa passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't too close to him.
Mm-hmm.
Family stuff. He always had to be looked after. So that was like extra strain on us
Mhm.
because we can't just like up and go somewhere if we want to eat. We got to be like, hey, we got to take him and we got to take
Oh,
care of
because
him.
did he live with you or he lived next to you?
He was plopped in our hands.
Okay.
He was kind of like a hot potato kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Between
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And it was like your turn to take care of him.
Not our turn. It was
Oh.
like, hey, you got to take care of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was one of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
It was a messed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't pass when we were taking care of him. He passed when he wanted to pass in Mexico. I think that's where he passed. Yeah, that's where he passed. He went back to Mexico and spent the days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, spent his last days there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that too like people talk about death in this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Life and death.
Yeah.
Every day we're dying.
That is true.
One day closer to death.
That's kind of creepy. But no, you got a point.
So
That
then,
was
yeah, when you came back to school,
Yeah.
you chose to leave.
I mean, I got
To
school
go-
to do. I got to graduate.
Right. And so they understood the value of that.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Like, you don't stay to take care of your family. You go to college because then you'll be able to take care
Yeah.
of your family.
Yeah. The returns of a college degree.
Yeah.
Well, right now it might be debatable, but
Mhm.
it's enough to get like my family by.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I can talk about my job and like
Yeah.
numbers and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So like for context, my parents, this is a vivid memory. My parents in like 2015 made like collectively when they filed their taxes $30,000,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get a job. Well, I have a job in Virginia waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Starting salary is $43,000. That's like
Mm-hmm.
$13,000 already. That's just for one
Yeah.
person.
Right.
But
Not a family of 5.
no, not a family of 5.
Mhm.
So I guess just like I knew why I had to go, and there was that guilt, but I had to push through it because
Mm-hmm.
the return of like whatever I'm doing here is gonna pay off.
Right.
It has to pay off.
Right. Yeah, and it will. Because once you get that degree and the salary, your kids will go on to earn,
Mhm.
college degrees in multiple. They will have access to health care. They will have access to better schools,
Mhm.
all of that stuff, just with earning a college degree.
It's crazy.
Yep.
But that like kind of makes me think like why is it that it needs a college degree to like get health insurance or something?
Because it's provided by employers, so it doesn't need the college degree. It's like one of those things where people with degrees tend to have jobs where the health insurance is included.
Mm.
Like it's one of the benefits that's always there, where if you're hourly, health insurance is not part of the package.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of, and then the way our society is segregated
Yeah.
is that like the houses that cost more are in the better neighborhood.
Yeah.
Say like with Raleigh, you have all these different
and
hospitals
Yeah.
where Pender County,
We got one clinic,
right,
2 clinics.
right. So
two
it's like if
clinics,
you're living in
correction.
Raleigh, you have access to all this health care.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
yeah. Anyways,
Right.
I don't know. Is your family gonna move to Virginia?
Nah. Well, my mom says she wants to.
Mhm.
But it's like we just paid off the house and we just like we're so close to finishing it.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard.
If I could,
Mhm.
I would buy them a house. I would buy them two houses.
Mhm.
The one down in Pender
Mhm.
and another one in Virginia, and they can
Mhm.
come and go as they please. But
Yeah, it would be their country house in Pender.
it'd be some type of house.
Yeah,
It'd
there'd be
be a
a
country house.
weekend house. Yeah.
But
Yeah, you never know.
Mm.
So, and you made national news. So, what do you think is about your story that connected with people?
with the housing thing,
So, I mean, obviously, like we've talked about homelessness in the United States, and then college student homelessness. It's like not something that people talk about all the time, but even at NC State, there's such a lack of resources for housing in comparison to food.
mm-hmm.
And then you come with the story of family going through this like major trauma, you know, of a hurricane and housing and being in shelters for such amount of time, and then you having to put all your financial resources to the family so they can get out of public shelters and have a safe place to stay. So why do you think people care about that?
I think people like seeing strong people. They like seeing people that can. I'm not saying that I'm like the strongest one out there, but it's just like people like seeing life deal them like all this type of craziness and still like keep their spirits up and keep persisting. Because I mean, I guess that even goes back to like my story in general, like just who I am and how I grew up is like once you can't like you can take breaks, but you can't like quite give up. And going back to like why people resonate with it is because they like seeing tenacity and they like seeing people not get put down despite all these. It's like a movie, you know. It's like
But it's like if you had gotten run down and given up type thing, it like wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean,
no, that happens.
being right, yeah. It's like being in public gyms for a year because your house can't get built, literally. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not your fault. It's the house. It's like, yeah, a lot of people could not handle that.
Well, there's always.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this goes back to like a lot of people can't handle it because like the context of how they handle things isn't the same as mine. And I mean, I listen to the people's like I've listened to like most people's podcasts on this podcast, and we've been through stuff, and the general middle class folk haven't been through this stuff.
Well, I guess the thing of like immigrating is traumatic.
Yeah.
In itself, and especially as a young child, you're not immune to that. So we have another student who's in a podcast, and she was, questioned by immigration people to be able to get the visa to get out of her country.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing is like, you're not, as a kid immigrating, you're not shielded. Like you're in with it with your parents.
Even though I was U.S. born. That's the weird part. But I guess going back to like why do people resonate with my story? I've already. It's like they like seeing people get back up on their feet and persist.
Right, and the pieces that you talked about it, because how would you know people? It would resonate with people, and people would think so strongly about it that it's on the Boston University's like School of Management website. It's on the Lumina Foundation's website.
I don't know that it's gonna resonate with people. I like for like when I'm speaking right now, I don't know like whoever is listening to this is gonna like I don't know if they're gonna draw inspiration, but if they do, then like really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's like the diversity of it's so complex. Why somebody like how does somebody end up like without a home? It's like the complexities of it. Yeah, I mean that's it's issues beyond your control. It's not one or two bad decisions. It's like complex and deep and so many factors.
Absolutely.
And I don't think people think about like all of those like things, and it's Like, what does it do to a family to be in public shelters for a year?
It changes us.
Yeah.
I know that we're not going to be the same people as we were before the hurricane. We're going to be, especially my brother. Damn, he's like, so I'm gonna preach a little bit about him. He was when this happened. He was entering 6th grade, and I don't know how many of us can remember back to those 6th grade years and first years of middle school, but he had to deal with that on top of the hurricane, on top of not having any privacy, on top of going through people. Like, he's been through
like
something.
He's
been through something. So he's definitely not going to be the same after we like move into our house. Who knows like what we're going to go through. But
yeah, because that's trauma.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah, for a young boy, for sure.
This is what he's going through is the equivalent of what my sister and I and my mom, my dad went through way back when. Especially what my parents went through. So this is like 3 layers of trauma, or who knows how many from like my parents. But this would be like our like second layer of like defining critical moments in our life.
Right. Yeah, defining moments.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, I was just thinking, it's like, does it exhaust you? I mean, just even to think about. But.
Yeah. Kinda. But you gotta just you just gotta keep keeping on.
Yeah, that was one of the things in the radio show. The guy asked you, like,
oh yeah,
didn't you want to drop out, or what would make you, with all this housing issue, it's like, how do you keep going to school? And you were like, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, didn't it like make you want to drop out? And you're like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't understand dropping out. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know that word, dropping out.
Yeah, I guess to those that are listening that are also Pack Promise, I don't know if you share the same idea as I do, but I'm not supposed to be here.
In college?
I'm not supposed to be in college. Both my parents made $30,000 in a year. A year. It's $25,000 a semester here at NC State. So to be able to like somehow like some strings were pulled or something happened in like the Pack Promise office. Well, I say that like not to like downplay.
It's like, were strings pulled for the dudes getting the GI Bill? No.
Okay, I guess, yeah, you can
like, here you are, you're going to earn summa cum laude, you're doing all this, you're in national media, like your story is published, again, like at Lumina Foundation.
Okay,
so that's the thing, is like, you are making NC State look better. So, of all these articles, it's saying NC State in a very positive way.
Go Pack.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, is like, you're doing a lot for NC State.
Can I get a cut? I'm just kidding.
No, don't kid.
Yeah.
Because if you think about even like people who donated money after reading your story, or people who donated money. So how many people, I mean, that's the thing, is I'm sure people donated money. If the Lumina Foundation found the article on Next City somehow and posted it on their website, I mean, so then that's like a national, like they thought it so strong.
Really?
Yeah. This is not equal opportunity. People do what's best. Like, that they think is, that they respect. And so if a national organization who has no idea who you are respects it so much that they put it on their website, there's got to have been, like, NC State alums or supporters that saw the story and donated money.
Oh, so like, well, I guess I'm here just.
You may have earned your money back. You know what I'm saying? You may have raised money for NC State that covers the amount that they gave you.
Oh.
Yeah, so you never know.
That is true.
I mean, you'll make Trio look good.
Hey, if Trio looks good, then I'm okay with that. But NC State has money. They can. They can go somewhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's the thing, is like, when we say, Miguel Ortiz-Cruz Trio, like, we're being attached to your success.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're riding on your coattails. So you're offering like professional respect to us. So even on these national organizations, when it says NC State Trio,
Right.
it also is getting that like national respect. So, because what did your family think about you on the radio?
Oh, they're just like, oh, look, it's my son.
So they listened to it?
They couldn't because they were working.
Oh,
but
but it's on the website.
Yeah, my sister has a recording. She's like, oh my God, look at
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, look at me.
Yeah, and you said a random guy heard it? Your
No,
random
not
teacher?
a random guy.
I mean, teachers randomly
No, it was,
contacted you?
so the College Advising Corps here,
Mm-hmm.
one of their advisors, yeah, was Rashid. I don't know, like if anybody listening knows, but Rashid Muhammad, he was my advisor, and he helped me with the FAFSA to get into college. And he like texted me like 1 a.m. saying, hey, you know, were you on the radio? I'm like, sure. Was it this radio station? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I was on there. It's like, hey man, it's nice to see like just what is become of the opportunity that's been given to you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So randoms are proud of you.
well, that's pretty cool. I guess. I mean, I'm just trying to graduate.
Right. So what advice do you have for like TRIO students listening to this?
We've been through it. We can keep going. Keep your head up. Keep your spirits up. Even if like something bad happens, we can always get through it. We're like we were made different than the majority of students on campus. Not to discredit anybody else's struggle, but we're just different. We're just built different to like withstand this stuff. And also like accept help. Don't be shy. Don't be like no. It's like if you see a piece of bread at Panera, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for like somebody else might need it. Nah, you are that somebody else. Get it. It's there for us.
Or yeah, if somebody else does need it, take 2.
Or yeah, take 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take 3. It is there for you.
Especially when their Oreo cookies are like $1.25 per.
That's
cookie.
criminal.
Yeah,
That's criminal right there.
That's why it's like you need to come get it out of just principle. So you were saying too, it's like you hung out a lot in the office, so that's been a benefit to you. Do you think?
I think so. Just being around Don, being around like you, being able to like talk to you and about things that just to work things out. I think that helps.
Yeah, and then I think because you were saying with the podcast, why you.
Oh yeah, like why do I listen to these podcasts? Because we're story driven creatures. That's how we communicate, and just being able to just hear. It's just like, okay, here's an analogy that's gonna be aired on the first ever outside of my mind.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be spectacular, but listen to this.
Yep.
It can be thought of as we're like in a communal gathering, and we don't have technology, right?
Yeah.
Let's imagine this. Around the campfire, there's the hunt or whatever. Like the food is there, and we're just listening to each other and drawing inspiration from each other. That's how. It's kind of how I see the world. Even though I know the world is much more complex, but that's what like.
When you boil it down, that's
when I
really
boil it
what
down,
it
we're
is.
just like village idiots walking around.
No.
Some of us are,
But it's like simplistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we like to like face-to-face voice communication.
Yeah.
In a story format.
That is who we are. That is the creatures that we have become and still continue to be because we have podcasts like this and many other podcasts to share these stories.
What else do you think they need to know? The royal we.
The pack promise, the trio. I mean, just stay strong.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. You just got to get through it.
Because what about, like, frustration when things don't work out and then the system says no? So, like, I had a student today, like, the instructor is not a good person. I mean, it's just, she has definite, like, legitimate reasons for being upset about how this course is being managed. But there's, like, nothing that can be done. I mean, this...
Absolutely nothing?
Yeah, not
No.
really. Just changing, like, her perception, like, of how she's going to deal with it.
Ooh.
But it's like, you know how when something happens and, like, on principle, something should be done,
but nothing can be done.
Right. So I
because
think
of
that's what
policy.
happens a lot in the university is like, yeah, something may not be right,
Yeah.
but you're just going to have to deal with it because higher education is a way bigger system than your individual experience.
Mm-hmm. So,
Because have you had experiences like that where you're frustrated or something's not fair and you've just had to like deal with it?
yeah, I mean, it's not school related. It's like,
Okay.
it's with the hurricane related.
Mm-hmm.
Because FAFSA, like, they can't give us money.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reach the other organizations, like, they're like, sorry.
Oh, FEMA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
FEMA.
FEMA, yeah.
And then there are, like, other hurricane relief organizations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
It's like, oh yeah, like a policy and not what's
it's a policy.
reasonable.
It's like, oh, well, not, yeah, this isn't going to call anybody out, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, my mom doesn't speak English. So
Mhm.
my sister's like, hey, can I be, like, in place of her?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, nah, you're too young. She's like, I'm 22. What do you mean I'm too young? And it's like, oh, but you're not the homeowner. It's like, no, but I can speak on behalf because I, like, helped buy the damn house.
Right.
So it's just like,
right.
it's like, oh, no, you can't. I guess that can extend into ageism, but.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it also doesn't help that my sister's, like, shorter than me and looks like a couple years younger than she actually
Looks
is.
12. Yeah.
That's the youth of, like,
Yeah.
who we are.
Yeah. No, but it's just simple things like that. Like, why can't she act as translator?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's just sometimes it's hard when you when things aren't fair and there's not much that can be done. Feeling powerless.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyhows, we can end. Let's end on something positive.
My positive or, like, positive for them?
Yeah, well, positive for you. Yeah,
Positive for me.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday. The date is March 4th, 5th, March 5th.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
said
good
you
day.
wanted to. I wrote down these words.
What words?
Your words that were the same words that people did for the Mars 2020 rover's name.
What? Wait, what?
You did inspire, resilience, courage, tenacity.
Oh.
So then people this past they had just done a name contest for
Yeah.
the newest Mars 2020 rover,
Really?
and it was the same type of words.
Really?
Like inspire, resilience. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what they named it. But it was like one of those words, like those posters, inspirational posters. So what are what's inspiration that's real, that's beyond poster?
I mean, okay, you're on campus and you're feeling frustrated, like nothing's going your way, just take a step back, breathe, and really take in where you are and the opportunities that are available to you. And then once you've, like, collected yourself and are in a good spot to, move forward, because if you move backward, then that's not helping anybody, not even you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you are in a good place at a good time.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Like, in the end,
yeah.
you might have a bad day, like the passing cloud,
Mm-hmm.
but where you are
Yeah.
now is one of the best places you could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it much better than I could.
Yeah, so it's like there's passing clouds, but literally, like, think about it, it's like this is the best place you could be at this time in your life.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I do got something. If you're applying to jobs, like right now, if you're, like, looking for internships and you apply, you email, and you get, like, rejection letters or nothing, that's all right. Just keep going. Just keep going. I can tell you, like, my experience before I got my job or the job that I'm gonna go to in Virginia. I applied to 50, but the ones that I remember.
Gosh damn, how did you have time for that?
Oh, that was, like, I don't know. That was last year.
Yeah, but
Last
that's
semester.
a lot of people just go, oh, I'm gonna apply to 5.
What?
Well, yeah.
No, you create opportunities. You're here. All right, okay, let's take a step back. You're on NC State's campus. This is your 4th year. You've worked. You put in work, tears, maybe blood if something happened to get here. And you're just going to say, oh, I'm going to do 5? No. You're here. You take advantage of what you got. And just, okay, apply. And if you get discouraged, that's okay. You can have your moment.
Sorry.
I'm gonna retrace.
Okay.
So, you're on NC State. You're in your 4th year. You're frustrated that nobody's getting back to you, right? if you only apply to 5 jobs and that's where you stop, shame on you. You're here, you put in 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears, you're gonna do more. And if you feel sad that nobody's getting back to you, keep on going, because you're eventually gonna reach points where it's like, hey, I got an interview. Cool. Use that to like fuel you for like more. Because I know I got a friend. She's like applied to 270, and that's like, and it's the same advice. Like, hey, you get interviews, you keep going, you keep moving, and then at the end of all that effort, the one that you're gonna remember is the one that you got a job for.
Right.
Like job offers, like multiple job offers.
Yeah. Because it's like you haven't met the right person yet. Like you haven't found the right job for you.
And then I remember like, so I watched this one YouTuber. He's not an inspirational speaker. He repairs MacBooks, and that's what he does. And then he just shares his views, his philosophy. It's like, luck doesn't exist. You create your own luck. So like now I'm like working through something where I'm rethinking how Pac Promise has like affected me. It's not by luck. It's like,
you did a lot in high school.
No.
I saw your admission stuff.
I put in the effort, even though I wasn't cognizant that I was like, oh, I have to do this or that. It's like I create opportunities for myself, and you can too. You just gotta like do it. It didn't come
like
off
some
it.
of it is just effort. It's not talent. You know, it's not like special skill.
No.
Like effort will get you into some doors. Yeah, because you went to summer programs.
Oh yeah.
Your guidance counselor wrote a special letter to NC
did?
State.
My counselor wrote a special letter to NC State?
Yeah. But that's because she felt strongly about, So it's
new
like
news
who you
to me.
treat.
That is absolutely new news. Oh yeah, and it goes up. It's called back to Coilas of season 2. Somebody's always looking out for you. So just put in the effort, and when you're feeling low, you can feel low. You are valid to those emotions, but just keep pushing.
Yeah, and we'll do it for you in trio.
Do it.
Help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean we pull strings and
Connections.
Yeah. Like with a car, connections.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, so we're out there working for you on your behalf. Even when you don't know.
Many thanks.
TRIO Student Support Services Program and Student Support Services STEM are federally funded college retention and completion programs. These programs focus on academic, personal, and career support for under-resourced undergraduate students. At TRIO SSS and SSS STEM, our goal is helping our students reach their goals. We are currently accepting new students to our program. Apply today. Go to www.ncsu.edu to learn more about student support services at NC State.